Stay away from drama. Stay close to your purpose. There comes a point in life when you must decide what truly deserves your attention. You can't chase peace and drama at the same time. You can't be focused on purpose and still be entertained by chaos. The moment you decide to live a life of meaning, you will have to make peace with walking away from noise that does not serve your growth. Some people thrive on confusion. They live off attention. They feed on reaction. They want to pull you into their storm so they don't have to face their own emptiness. But when you are on a mission, when you know who you are and what you're called to do, you don't have the time or the energy to be part of unnecessary distractions. Every minute wasted on drama is a minute stolen from your destiny. Stay away from those who gossip about everyone, because sooner or later, gossip about you. Stay away from those who always need something to complain about, because they will drain the joy out of your purpose. You were not created to fight meaningless battles. You were created to walk with purpose, to build with focus, and to shine with grace. When you are close to your purpose, peace becomes your companion. You stop reacting to everything. You stop explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds. You stop lowering your voice to be understood in rooms where you were never meant to belong. You start realizing that silence is not weakness. It's wisdom. And peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of clarity. Your purpose is not found in proving yourself to others. It's found in listening to the quiet voice within you that says, keep going. You will lose some people along the way, and that's okay. Everyone who started with you is meant to finish with you. Some connections are seasonal. They were there to teach you a lesson, not to travel the journey. The sooner you learn that, the lighter you become. Stay close to your purpose. Let your purpose decide your priorities. Let your purpose set your boundaries. Let your purpose determine your peace. Because when you know why you are here, you stop being moved by every opinion, every rumor, every misunderstanding. You no longer need validation. You need vision. You no longer seek attention. You seek alignment. The drama will always exist. People will always talk. Situations will always try to pull you back, but you have a choice to live reactive or to live purposeful. Choose purpose, choose progress, choose peace. Because your destiny is too valuable to be delayed by distractions. Drama has a way of showing up when you are finally starting to move forward. It comes disguised as people's opinions, misunderstandings, petty arguments, or distractions that demand your attention. And if you are not careful, it will drain the very energy you need to build your future. Drama is not just noise, it is a thief. It steals focus, time, and peace. It takes your eyes off the vision and traps you in cycles that do not produce growth. When your heart is set on destiny, you can't afford to waste your focus on things that don't add value to your life. Every great dream requires discipline, and discipline requires focus. Focus is the bridge between where you are and where you are called to be. But drama breaks that bridge. It diverts your attention from construction to destruction. It feeds your emotions but starves your purpose. It keeps you busy, not productive. Some people find comfort in chaos because it keeps them distracted from dealing with their own emptiness. They would rather talk about others than face themselves. And when you begin to rise, they will try to pull you into their noise because your peace exposes their lack of purpose. But when you understand your assignment, you no longer need to attend every argument you're invited to. You learn that silence is not surrender, it's strength. Walking away from drama is not weakness, it's wisdom. Your focus is sacred. It's the currency of progress. What you focus on, you feed. If you feed drama, it grows. If you feed purpose, it multiplies. The enemy of purpose is not always failure. Sometimes it's distraction. You can be talented, anointed, intelligent, and gifted, but if your attention is scattered, your potential will never manifest. Purpose requires intentional living. It demands that you guard your mind, protect your time, and choose your battles wisely. When you are building something meaningful, not everyone will understand your silence. Some will call you distant. Others will call you cold. But you're not being cold. You're being called to a higher standard, called to focus on something greater than conversation and conflict. There comes a time when you stop explaining your peace and simply live it. You realize that not every situation deserves a reaction, and not every voice deserves a response. Drama is often loud, urgent, and emotional. Purpose is quiet, steady, and powerful. Drama asks you to prove yourself. Purpose reminds you who you are. Drama thrives on reaction. Purpose thrives on direction. You cannot live in both worlds. You must choose one. Every time you choose peace over pettiness, clarity over confusion, vision over validation, you move closer to destiny. There will be seasons where the enemy doesn't attack you with destruction, but with distraction. He will use people, noise, comparison, unnecessary conflict to shift your focus from what matters. But remember, destiny doesn't grow in drama. It grows in discipline. If you allow drama to dominate your emotions, your energy will be wasted fighting shadows instead of building substance. Don't let temporary noise silence eternal purpose. Protect your focus like a treasure. Guard your peace like it's priceless, because it is. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people only show up to drain you, not develop you. Learn to recognize the difference. Maturity is knowing who to walk away from without bitterness. You don't need to argue with anyone who has already decided to misunderstand you. You don't need to explain your growth to those who choose to stay stagnant. Every step you take towards your destiny requires clarity. Clarity comes when you stop entertaining confusion. You cannot hear divine direction when your mind is full of distraction. You can't discern your next move if you're busy reacting to what everyone else is doing. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is staying still, silent, and focused. While others waste time debating, you are building. While they gossip, you grow. While they react, you rise. Purpose is not glamorous, it's gritty. It demands consistency when no one is watching. It asks you to keep going even when the noise is loud. Tests your ability to ignore what doesn't serve your calling. You will not fulfill your destiny by responding to every misunderstanding or defending every decision. Let your results speak louder than your explanations. Let your fruit prove your focus. When you choose purpose over drama, you begin to see transformation. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions become stable. Your peace becomes stronger. You start recognizing what truly matters and who truly supports you. You stop seeking attention and start valuing alignment. The more you grow in purpose, the less you crave participation in chaos. You begin to protect your peace not because you're proud, but because you finally understand your worth. Drama thrives on attention, but your purpose thrives on intention. Every time you decide to ignore negativity and stay focused on your mission, you are taking back your power. Don't waste your energy proving your value to people who refuse to see it. Your destiny is not built on approval. It's built on consistency. Keep building, keep creating, keep believing. Let peace be your power and purpose be your direction. Life is too short to spend it reacting to what doesn't matter. You are here for something greater, something that requires your full attention. The more focused you become, the less interested you'll be in drama. You'll start realizing that your time is too valuable to argue, your mind too precious to clutter, and your heart too sacred to be involved in nonsense. So stay focused, stay disciplined, stay faithful to your calling, because drama might give you a moment of reaction, but purpose gives you a lifetime of fulfillment. Drama may win attention, but purpose wins impact. You were not designed to live distracted. You were created to live directed. Don't trade your destiny for temporary noise. Keep your eyes on the vision. Guard your energy. Build in silence. Move with grace. Because while others are chasing attention, you are building legacy. Drama drains focus, but purpose builds destiny. Choose your side carefully and let your peace prove your progress. Peace and drama cannot coexist in the same heart. You cannot walk in calmness while carrying chaos. You cannot build a purposeful life while constantly being pulled into distractions that have nothing to do with your growth. Life gives you a choice every single day to chase peace or to chase noise. You cannot do both. The path to peace is narrow, quiet, and disciplined. Path of drama is wide, loud, and full of unnecessary detours. The one who chooses peace must also choose distance, distance from gossip, distance from negativity, and distance from emotional chaos that keeps you stuck. Peace is not something you find outside of you. It's something you protect within you. It's the result of what you allow and what you refuse to entertain. If you are serious about finding peace, you must be intentional about walking away from drama, no matter how tempting it may seem. Drama is addictive. It feeds the ego. It gives you the illusion of importance, the temporary satisfaction of being right, or the emotional rush of being involved. But in the end, it leaves you empty, drained, and distracted. There are people who live in a constant state of reaction. They are addicted to conflict because they haven't learned how to live in calmness. They create storms just to feel alive, and when they see someone walking in peace, it bothers them because your stability exposes their instability. That's why protecting your peace requires strength. You must be strong enough to walk away when your emotions want to engage. You must be wise enough to remain silent when your pride wants to respond. You cannot say you want peace, but keep running back to chaos. You cannot pray for clarity, but keep surrounding yourself with confusion. Peace is a discipline, not a coincidence. It comes from consistent choices, from saying no to conversations that don't serve your spirit, no to relationships that thrive on conflict, and no to situations that disturb your calm. If peace is your goal, boundaries must become your practice. Peace and drama speak two different languages. Peace whispers, drama shouts. Peace builds, drama breaks. Peace moves quietly, drama needs an audience. If you want to live peacefully, you have to become comfortable being misunderstood, because people who live for attention will never understand those who live for alignment. Call your silence arrogance, your boundaries rudeness, and your calmness weakness. But don't explain peace to those who've only known chaos. Let your calm speak for itself. Sometimes drama will come disguised as concern. People will pretend they're checking on you. They're really collecting information to spread later. They will say they care, but they only care about staying connected to your business. That's why you must learn the power of discretion. You don't owe everyone access to your thoughts, your plans, or your emotions. Peace grows in privacy. The less people know, the less they can disturb. Choosing peace doesn't mean you're passive. It means you're powerful enough to control yourself. It's easy to respond to every insult, every rumor, every misunderstanding. But it takes real strength to rise above it. Peace is not the absence of challenges. It's the ability to remain grounded in the middle of them. You don't lose your peace because things go wrong. You lose your peace when you allow things to control your reaction. The storm doesn't destroy you. Your reaction to it does. There will always be people who try to provoke you, who want to pull you into their emotional storms. They want your reaction because your reaction gives them relevance. But when you remain calm, they lose power. When you stay centered, they lose control. Don't give people the satisfaction of seeing you disturbed. Your peace is your power. Protect it like treasure. Peace also requires letting go of grudges, letting go of control, and letting go of what you cannot fix. Sometimes peace means walking away without closure, forgiving without apology, or accepting that some things will never make sense. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Because peace is not found in understanding everything. It's found in trusting that everything has a reason. If you're serious about peace, you must also get comfortable with solitude. Not everyone can walk quietly. Some people need constant stimulation to feel valuable. But when you truly know yourself, you find beauty in silence. You stop needing validation. You stop needing to be seen. You stop chasing crowds that don't understand your calm. You realize that peace is not loneliness, it's liberation. It's the freedom to be content without chaos. Peace requires spiritual maturity. It takes awareness to recognize when something is stealing your calm. It takes courage to walk away from old patterns that no longer align with who you are becoming. And it takes humility to admit that sometimes you are the one creating the drama through overthinking, overreacting, or over-explaining. Growth begins when you stop feeding the things that disturb your spirit. When you choose peace over drama, your perspective shifts. You stop wasting energy on things that don't change your outcome. You begin to value your inner world more than external opinions. You become mindful of what you consume, not just in food, but in conversations, music, and environments. Peace is not just emotional, it's spiritual, mental, and physical. Everything that enters your life affects your calm. That's why protecting your peace is a full-time job. There is no room for drama when your mind is focused on purpose. The two cannot coexist. Drama distracts, but peace directs. Drama drains, but peace restores. You cannot hear divine direction while drowning in unnecessary noise. You cannot step into destiny while staying entangled in other people's dysfunction. The moment you decide to pursue peace, you will lose some people, but you will find yourself. Peace will cost you your pride, your impulsiveness, your need to always be right. But it will give you something far greater: clarity, contentment, and spiritual strength. It will allow you to move through life with grace. You will start realizing that silence can resolve what arguments never could, and stillness can heal what chaos keeps breaking. So choose peace even when it's hard. Choose calm even when chaos is loud. Choose your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. A peaceful mind can build a powerful life, but a chaotic heart can't create anything lasting. Every time you have the choice to react or remain calm, remember this truth: you can't chase peace and participate in drama simultaneously. Let go of the noise. Protect your focus. Guard your energy. Walk away from what steals your calm. Because when peace becomes your priority, you'll discover a strength that drama can never give you. The peace you protect today becomes the foundation for the destiny you build tomorrow. And once you taste real peace, chaos will never feel like home again. There comes a point in life when you realize not everyone who walks with you is walking in the same direction. Some people are drawn to chaos the way others are drawn to peace. They thrive on confusion, tension, and emotional storms. They find comfort in conflict because it gives them something to talk about, something to react to, something to control. When your spirit is committed to clarity, when your heart is set on peace, purpose, and growth, you'll find that you can't walk with those who are addicted to confusion. People addicted to conflict are always searching for the next argument, the next misunderstanding, the next emotional spark. They don't seek resolution. They seek reaction. Their energy depends on friction, and when life is calm, they feel empty. But those who are committed to clarity are not moved by noise. They don't need conflict to feel alive. They need truth. They want understanding, not attention. They want growth, not gossip. The two mindsets cannot coexist for long. When your spirit matures, you start to notice patterns. You see how some people always find something to fight about. You recognize how they twist peace into problems, how they turn small differences into big divisions. And eventually, you realize it's not personal, it's habitual. Some people are simply conditioned to live in conflict because they've never learned how to live in calm. Their identity is tied to drama. Their self-worth is tied to being right. They would rather win an argument than keep a relationship. But when you are committed to clarity, you value peace over pride. You value understanding over being right. You stop needing to win. You start needing to heal. Clarity is not about proving a point. It's about protecting your peace. And once you start living in that truth, you will notice that your circle gets smaller, not because you are arrogant, but because your atmosphere requires alignment. You cannot have constant conflict and expect consistent clarity. There are people who will misunderstand your calmness. They will think your silence is weakness, your distance is arrogance, or your peace is fake. But they don't realize you're not avoiding people. You're avoiding patterns. You're avoiding arguments that lead nowhere. You're avoiding energy that drains your spirit. You're avoiding confusion that clouds your mind. You're not better than anyone. You're just better than the chaos used to entertain. Clarity and conflict move in opposite directions. Conflict thrives on confusion, but clarity thrives on communication. Conflict assumes, clarity asks. Conflict attacks, clarity understands. Conflict divides, clarity builds. The person who is addicted to conflict will always misinterpret your peace because they only know how to function in tension. They don't know how to handle calmness. It exposes their restlessness. When you walk in clarity, your responses change. You no longer rush to defend yourself against false accusations. You no longer waste energy trying to correct every misunderstanding. You let people think what they want because you know truth will reveal itself in time. You stop fighting battles that don't belong to you. You understand that not everything needs a reaction. Some things just need distance. You can't expect someone who loves conflict to understand someone who loves clarity. Their values are different. Their mindset is different. They're not looking for peace. They're looking for fuel. And if you allow them, they will pull you back into cycles of tension that you have already healed from. But the moment you choose clarity, you break the cycle. You stop playing the same emotional games that used to keep you stuck. You start seeing things as they are, not as people want you to see them. Clarity requires courage. It takes courage to have honest conversations instead of emotional confrontations. It takes maturity to listen without reacting, to understand before judging, to walk away instead of fighting back. Conflict wants to win, clarity wants to grow. And the more you grow, the less interested you become in winning arguments that don't matter. You start realizing that peace is worth more than being right. Sometimes clarity will cost you connections. When you refuse to entertain conflict, people who feed on it will walk away. And that's okay. Let them go. You cannot carry peace while holding on to people who love confusion. You cannot walk forward while others are committed to going in circles. Some relationships end not because of hate, but because of difference in maturity. When one person is addicted to conflict and the other is committed to clarity, distance becomes inevitable. Clarity doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't compete, it comprehends. It doesn't accuse, it asks. Once you start valuing peace, you will lose the appetite for pointless confrontation. You'll stop explaining yourself to people who are determined to misunderstand you. You'll stop showing up to arguments that steal your energy. You'll stop revisiting conversations that only produce confusion. You'll learn that silence is not avoidance. It's alignment. Addicted to conflict can't walk with those committed to clarity because clarity exposes truth, and truth threatens chaos. Clarity brings accountability. It removes the excuses that conflict depends on. When truth enters a situation, manipulation has to leave. That's why some people resist clarity. They don't want healing. They want control. They don't want to understand. They want to dominate. When you are committed to truth, you stop participating in confusion. You stop feeding dysfunction. You stop apologizing for protecting your peace. Clarity is not about having all the answers. It's about having the right intentions. It's about walking in honesty, transparency, and purpose. It's about being grounded enough to say, I don't need to argue to understand. You no longer seek validation from chaos. You no longer crave attention from people who can't handle peace. You become anchored, steady, and focused. The more you walk in clarity, the easier it becomes to spot conflict from a distance. You begin to recognize when something doesn't align with your spirit. You learn to exit conversations before they turn toxic. You learn to protect your energy before it's drained. You stop fighting battles that don't build you. You start saving your strength for what truly matters, your purpose, your growth, and your peace. So don't feel guilty for walking away from people who can't walk with you. Don't apologize for choosing clarity over confusion. Don't shrink yourself to fit into circles that thrive on conflict. The more you grow in peace, the less you'll tolerate chaos. You were not created to live in constant tension. You were created to live in purpose, peace, and truth. And sometimes that means letting go of people who can't handle the quiet. People addicted to conflict can't walk with those committed to clarity because clarity doesn't feed their chaos, it exposes it. Choose clarity. Protect your peace. Guard your energy. Because when your mind is clear, your heart is free. And when your heart is free, your destiny flows. The loudest person in the room might win the argument, but the calmest one will always win the war. Walk in clarity, not confusion. You'll find that peace will always lead you exactly where you're meant to be. There is a misconception in the world today that peace means passivity, calm means cowardice, that silence means surrender. But peace is not weakness. Peace is power under control. It is strength that refuses to be manipulated. It is confidence that doesn't need to shout to be heard. When you truly understand who you are and what you're called to do, you realize that peace is not the absence of conflict, it's the mastery of self. It's the ability to stay centered when everything around you is trying to pull you apart. Weakness reacts. Strength responds. Weakness is loud. Peace is steady. Weakness needs validation. Peace knows its worth. It takes more courage to remain calm in chaos than to join in the noise. Anyone can fight back when they're provoked, but it takes real maturity to hold your peace, to think before you speak. Rise above the temptation to respond to everything that offends you. Peace is not a lack of emotion. It's the discipline to direct emotion toward purpose. There are moments in life when your greatest weapon will not be your words, but your restraint. When you are at peace with yourself, you don't have to prove your strength through aggression. You understand that energy is precious and not every battle is worth your participation. You start to see that reacting to everything steals your power while responding with clarity multiplies it. Peace is not weakness, it's wisdom in action. It's knowing when to walk away, not because you're scared, but because you refuse to waste your energy on what doesn't grow you. Many people confuse silence with surrender, but silence, when rooted in purpose, is strategy. It's not that you can't fight, it's that you choose not to fight unnecessarily. You know your time, your peace, and your focus are too valuable to be spent on petty conflicts. You have learned that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You've learned that sometimes walking away is not a loss, it's a statement of power. Because peace is not about avoiding confrontation. It's about mastering it. It's about knowing that calmness is a weapon stronger than chaos. When you choose peace, you choose strength over reaction. You decide to respond with maturity instead of emotion. That doesn't make you weak, that makes you wise. Weakness is allowing others to control your mood, to dictate your reactions, to pull you out of character. Strength is choosing to protect your inner calm, no matter what happens around you. Peace is not the easy way, it's the higher way. It takes discipline to stay calm when you're provoked, to forgive when you're hurt, to let go when your ego wants revenge. Peaceful people are not powerless, they're powerful enough to choose their battles. They understand that not everything deserves attention. They know that noise does not equal progress, that sometimes the loudest person in the room is the most lost. Peaceful people walk with quiet confidence, not because life is easy, because they have mastered control. They have learned that the one who can control themselves can control any situation. The world often glorifies aggression. It celebrates those who speak the loudest, move the fastest, and fight the hardest. But real power is not in noise, it's in stillness. Real power is the ability to remain steady in the storm. The ocean teaches us this truth. The surface may roar with waves. The deep water remains calm and unshaken. Likewise, when your peace is deep, life's waves can't disturb your foundation. Peace is not weakness. It's evidence of inner maturity. It means you've outgrown the need to prove yourself. You've stopped chasing approval and started chasing alignment. You no longer allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. You've learned that defending yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you is a waste of time. You've learned that staying calm when everything is falling apart is not denial, it's discipline. To live in peace, you must learn to let go. Go of the need to be right all the time. Let go of grudges that poison your heart. Let go of people who thrive on chaos. Let go of situations you cannot change. Let go of yesterday's pain so you can embrace today's purpose. None of that makes you weak. It makes you wise. Shows that you value your peace more than your pride. It shows that you have grown beyond the need for revenge. Peace is not passive. It's powerful. It's not the absence of struggle, but the presence of perspective. It's the calm that comes from knowing that you don't have to control everything to trust that everything will work out. It's the quiet assurance that you are guided, protected, and strengthened even when life feels uncertain. Peace gives you clarity. It allows you to see situations for what they are instead of reacting to how they feel. People may mistake your peace for indifference. They may think your calm means you don't care. But the truth is, peace doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you choose not to let your feelings rule you. You can be at peace and still have passion. You can be calm and still be courageous. Peace doesn't mean you sit still and do nothing. It means you move with intention, not impulse. There is great strength in peace. It's the kind of strength that can stand tall without shouting. It's the kind of strength that can forgive without forgetting. It's the kind of strength that can love without conditions and let go without bitterness. Peace is not weakness. It's emotional intelligence. It's the proof that you've learned how to govern your emotions, how to protect your energy, and how to keep your heart pure in a world that thrives on chaos. When you live in peace, you stop letting the outside world control your inner world. You stop giving away your joy to every disturbance that comes your way. You stop chasing validation from people who don't value you. You stop reacting to negativity with more negativity. You start realizing that peace is not found in your surroundings. It's created from within. Peaceful living takes courage. It takes the strength to remain kind in an unkind world, to stay gentle when others are harsh, to stay hopeful when things look impossible. Peace is not weakness, it's evidence of spiritual maturity. It's what happens when your faith becomes stronger than your frustration, when your patience becomes greater than your pride. Don't let anyone mistake your calm for fear. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing peace over drama. It doesn't mean you're avoiding life. It means you're living it wisely. You've simply decided that chaos no longer deserves a seat at your table. You've decided that protecting your peace is protecting your purpose. Because when you walk in peace, you walk in power. When you carry peace within, no storm can destroy you. When you live from a place of calm confidence, you stop reacting to life and start responding with purpose. Peace gives you stability. Peace gives you vision. Peace gives you longevity. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom at work. So the next time someone mistakes your peace for passivity, smile and keep walking. You don't need to explain your calm to those who thrive on chaos. You know the truth. Peace is not weakness. Peace is strength wrapped in wisdom, power dressed in patience, and victory expressed in silence. It's not the absence of power. It's the perfect use of it. Life is a journey, and along that journey, people will come and go. Some will walk with you for a season, some for a reason, and a rare few for a lifetime. But the truth that every growing soul must face is this: not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. And that's not rejection. That's realignment. It's not betrayal. It's destiny at work. When you begin to grow, life begins to separate you from people who no longer fit the version of who you are becoming. Growth changes your priorities, your values, and your energy. And sometimes the people who once understood you no longer recognize you. It's not that you've become prideful or distant. It's that your path has shifted. The roads that once ran parallel are now heading in different directions. You can't hold on to everyone and still move forward. Every new level of life requires a new version of you. And sometimes that means releasing old connections. Everyone is built for the altitude of your next season. Some people are only equipped to handle the earlier chapters of your story. They were essential for your foundation, but not for your elevation. It's painful to outgrow people. It's hard to walk away from familiar faces, shared memories, and emotional attachments. But clinging to what no longer serves your destiny will only create unnecessary suffering. You cannot take everyone with you because not everyone has the capacity to go where you're going. Some people will misunderstand your silence, misinterpret your peace, and resent your progress. But you cannot shrink yourself to stay in places where you no longer belong. Every relationship has a purpose. Not every relationship has permanence. Some people come into your life to teach you love, others to teach you loss. Some come to build your faith, others to test your patience. And once their purpose is fulfilled, holding on too long can become a form of resistance. What was once a blessing can turn into a burden if you refuse to let go when it's time. There are times when God will remove people not to punish you, to protect you. Some relationships would become roadblocks if they continued too long. Some connections would hold you back if they followed you into your next chapter. So when people walk away, don't chase them, release them. Trust that what leaves your life was never meant to stay beyond its appointed time. When you're on a journey of purpose, not everyone will understand your pace. Some will question why you've changed, why you've become quiet, why you've distanced yourself. Sometimes distance is not rejection, it's reflection. It's choosing to grow without guilt. It's realizing that peace is more important than pleasing. It's understanding that alignment matters more than attachment. As you evolve, your circle will shrink. Not because you're arrogant, but because authenticity requires discernment. The more you discover who you are, the more you'll recognize who no longer aligns with your spirit. You'll start noticing that gossip drains you, that negativity no longer entertains you, and that shallow connections no longer satisfy you. It's not pride, it's purpose. You're not walking away from people, you're walking toward growth. Some people are addicted to where you used to be. They connected to your struggle but can't relate to your strength. They understood your pain but can't handle your peace. They liked you when you needed them, but now that you've found stability, they feel threatened by your independence. That's why not everyone can continue the journey, because your transformation confronts their stagnation. There's a difference between loyalty and limitation. Loyalty doesn't mean staying connected to people who drain your energy. It doesn't mean sacrificing your peace to maintain a friendship that no longer fits. Sometimes the most loyal thing you can do to yourself and to them is to let go. Because by staying where you no longer belong, you delay your growth and hinder theirs. You cannot carry everyone's expectations and still walk freely into your destiny. You cannot please everyone and still honor your purpose. Some people will only love you when you fit their comfort zone. The moment you grow beyond it, they'll question your motives. But don't let that shake you. You're not responsible for their understanding. You're responsible for your obedience to purpose. There will be seasons where the journey gets lonely. Familiar voices fade and new faces haven't yet appeared. But don't mistake isolation for abandonment. Sometimes the silence is sacred. Sometimes the distance is divine. It's in those quiet seasons that your strength is built. It's when you walk alone that you learn who you truly are. Growth often requires separation before elevation. Don't be afraid to let people outgrow their place in your life. The same way you have evolved, others are evolving too. Their journey may lead them elsewhere, and that's okay. You can love people deeply and still release them peacefully. You can bless them as they go without bitterness, because maturity means understanding that parting ways doesn't always mean conflict. Sometimes it's completion. When you hold on to what you've outgrown, you create emotional clutter. You block the flow of new blessings, new lessons, and new connections. But when you make room by releasing what's expired, life begins to move again, doors open, opportunities align, peace returns. Letting go is not losing, it's clearing space for what's next. Not everyone can walk with you because not everyone is meant to understand your calling. Some people were designed for your past, not your purpose. Their chapter in your story was valuable, but it's over. You can appreciate the role they played without needing them to stay. Don't resent them for leaving. Thank them for their part in your becoming. There's freedom in acceptance. When you stop forcing people to fit into seasons they've outlived, you make peace with the flow of life. You stop fighting what's meant to end, and you start trusting what's meant to begin. Every ending carries the seed of a new beginning, but you can't receive it while your hands are full of what used to be. Your journey is sacred. It's personal. It's designed specifically for you. And while many may walk beside you for a time, only a few are assigned to go all the way. The rest will bless you and then move on, and that's perfectly okay. Some were there to teach you strength, some to mirror your flaws, some to remind you what love looks like. All were necessary, but not all are permanent. So, walk forward with peace in your heart. Don't hold grudges. Don't chase what's leaving. Don't resist what's changing. Trust that every goodbye is guiding you toward a greater hello. You don't have to hate what you release. You just have to recognize that it's time. Not everyone is meant to continue the journey with you. Some were only meant to walk you to the next gate of growth, and from there, you must continue the rest of the way on your own. Because destiny is not a group project. Purpose is not built by popularity. The higher you climb, the fewer people can fit on the path. So bless those who leave, honor what was, and keep walking. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, and everyone who's meant to be with you will find their place in time. There comes a moment in life when you realize that wandering without purpose is one of the most exhausting experiences a soul can endure. You can have success, money, and attention, but without purpose, none of it brings fulfillment. Purpose is not something you stumble upon by accident. It's something you uncover as you grow, as you listen, as you align your life with what you were created to do. Purpose gives you direction when life feels uncertain, peace when storms arise, discipline when distractions come your way. When you don't know your purpose, you chase everything. You run after approval, recognition, comfort, temporary satisfaction. You find yourself pulled in different directions, saying yes to things that drain you and no to things that could grow you. When you find purpose, something shifts within you. The noise begins to fade. You no longer need to chase every opportunity because you understand that not every door is meant for you. Purpose gives you clarity. It helps you discern between what looks good and what is truly meant for you. Purpose is the compass of the soul. It points you toward meaning when everything else feels empty. It gives your journey structure and your pain significance. When you live with purpose, even your struggles start to make sense. The challenges that once frustrated you begin to serve as preparation. Disappointments that broke you begin to reveal direction. You start to see that nothing in your life was wasted. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak was molding you into who you are meant to become. Direction is one of the greatest gifts of purpose. It keeps you from drifting. It gives your life a target, a focus, a reason to wake up each morning with determination. Without direction, life becomes reactionary. You're constantly responding to circumstances instead of creating your path. But purpose shifts you from reaction to intention. You no longer let life happen to you. You move with awareness, with goals, and with conviction. You stop asking, "What should I do?" and start declaring, "This is where I'm going." When you have purpose, you begin to value time differently. You no longer waste your energy on gossip, drama, or competition because you know that none of those things contribute to your mission. Purpose narrows your focus. It makes you selective about where you invest your energy. You learn to protect your peace because you understand that inner chaos can derail progress. Purpose teaches you to say no with confidence and yes with clarity. It builds a filter around your life that only allows in what aligns with your destiny. And where there is direction, there comes peace. Peace is not the absence of challenges, it's the presence of alignment. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, even the hardest seasons become bearable. You stop fighting every difficulty because you realize that growth requires stretching. You stop complaining about the climb because you understand that the mountain is part of the mission. Peace flows when you stop resisting what's meant to shape you. Peace comes when you realize that purpose is greater than problems. It's what anchors you when life feels unstable. It's the voice that whispers, "Keep going," when the world tells you to quit. Purpose doesn't always make the path easier, but it makes the journey meaningful. You may not have everything you want. You'll always have what you need: direction, drive, and divine assurance that your life is moving somewhere significant. Peace that purpose brings is different from comfort. Comfort says, stay where it's easy. Peace says, move where it's right. Comfort will keep you stuck in familiar places, but peace will pull you toward fulfillment. And sometimes peace feels uncomfortable at first because it requires trust. It requires you to walk by faith, by sight, to let go of control and believe that what's meant for you will align in time. But purpose doesn't just bring peace, it demands discipline. Because knowing your purpose is not enough, you must live it out. Discipline is what turns intention into action. It's what separates dreamers from doers. When you're guided by purpose, you can't afford to be lazy with your potential. You begin to hold yourself to a higher standard because anyone is watching, but because you're accountable to your calling. Discipline doesn't always feel good. It requires sacrifice. It asks you to show up when no one claps, to stay focused when no one understands, to keep going when the results haven't shown up yet. Purpose-driven discipline reminds you that consistency will take you where motivation can't. Purpose gives your why, and discipline gives your how. Together, they make you unstoppable. Every great achievement is rooted in discipline. Early mornings, late nights, and countless moments of unseen effort. But it's purpose that fuels that discipline. Without purpose, discipline feels like punishment. But with purpose, discipline feels like progress. You realize that every act of effort, every ounce of persistence, every bit of focus is an investment into something greater. Purpose gives you the strength to say, I can't afford to live carelessly anymore. It teaches you that destiny requires structure. It reminds you that success isn't built on comfort, but on commitment. Discipline molds your character, while purpose defines your direction. Together, they keep you grounded when emotions waver and circumstances shift. You will find that people who live without purpose are often restless. They jump from one thing to another, chasing fulfillment but never finding it. But those who are grounded in purpose walk with peace, even in uncertainty. They may not have everything figured out, but they know they are on the right path. Purpose makes you unshakable. When life knocks you down, it's your sense of purpose that pulls you back up. Purpose doesn't eliminate fear. It gives you courage to move through it. It doesn't erase mistakes. It gives them meaning. It doesn't promise ease. It promises endurance. And when peace and discipline meet purpose, you begin to experience a kind of fulfillment that the world can't offer and circumstances can't take away. Your purpose is not about perfection. It's about progression. It's about becoming more of who you were created to be each day. It's about aligning your gifts, your passion, and your faith with something that serves beyond yourself. Purpose gives you a reason to rise above pettiness, to choose peace over chaos, and to build a life anchored in vision instead of reaction. So guard your purpose, protect your peace, practice discipline. Because when those three unite, you become powerful beyond measure. You stop drifting and start directing. You stop existing and start living. Purpose gives you clarity, peace gives you stability, and discipline gives you consistency. And together, they create the foundation for a destiny that cannot be shaken. In the end, purpose is not just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. When you live with purpose, peace flows from within and discipline becomes a joy instead of a burden. Life may still bring storms, but you'll stand firm because you know exactly who you are, where you're going, and why you're walking that path.